So the guests are living in small groups, handshakes, hugs, everything is going on. I walk out with my parents exhausted. I spent the whole night at a birthday party I never wanted to attend in the first place. Outside, the air feels cooler, but in my head, the music is still going on. We reach in the parking lot, and my brother pulls out the bike keys and asks my mom to come with him. He says to her, "Mom, come with me, I'll drop you." She shakes her head instantly. She tells him that no, I will go with dad. So at that point, I started to feel a little different because I was the one person in my family who was responsible for everyone to reach the home safely. Like I used to consider my duty and to make sure that everyone reaches home on time and safely. So I tell my mother, if you want, you can go. I will book a cab for me and dad. She smiles and says, no, you both go together. I try again. I tell her, okay, so let's do one thing. I will go with my brother and I will book a cab for you two. You two come in a cab. So at that point, she says no. Again, she repeats this no. So at that point, I start thinking that whether she is so uncomfortable on the bike that she want to go with dad and she also not want to book any cab. So these all kinds of thoughts were going in my mind. Suddenly, she tells me that you both go together. I will come with dad on an auto rickshaw. I thought at that point that why is she insisting me to go together with my brother and why she want to go home with dad in an auto rickshaw at this hour. It is so late. I want to say some more things, but I left both of them. I was sitting back on the bike and my brother was driving it. So I keep glancing in the mirror. They are standing there, not rushing, not any waving like goodbye. So just waiting together. And suddenly at that point I get it. They don't want the fastest ride home. They don't want to the most comfortable ride home. They want to spend time together. They don't get moments like this where they both are away from their roles of the mother and father, and they want no interruptions, no one pulling them in different directions. They wanted to sit together in a back of an auto and talk with one another, or they wanted to laugh at something that happened at the event, or they want to talk about some kind of issue. I don't know, but I know one thing for sure, that they want to some time together where they are not in the role of any responsible person and be a mother and father. And that's how I left the community hall. So that night, watching my parents choose an auto instead of a cab, I realized I had been blind for years. They were not doing something new. They were not behaving differently. The only thing that changed in that instance and in that moment while I was leaving the hall was the frame I see them through. Earlier, I used to just see them as two responsible persons who are responsible for everything that is happening in the home. But when I was leaving the marriage hall, then at that moment I shifted my frame and I started thinking about two person who had chosen each other in the past to spend some time together. That frame shift forced me to think differently about their relationship. So nothing about them changed, only the context which surrounds them in my mind changed. And this is the reason why I changed as a person, not their relationship. I started seeing myself as a different lens and their relation as a different lens. So everything around changed when I changed the context. I changed as a person. So this thing not only happens in our day-to-day life, like changing the context and the entire meaning, not only about the things we are assuming changes, we as an individual changes. This also happens in business. So founders, when they build their product and their product is not working, they keep trying different context and keep trying to change the positioning, and they think that by changing the positioning of the product, like new tagline, new homepage messaging, new landing page, by changing all of these things, they are only working and changing the product, and this will help them, their customers, to see their product through a different lens. But it is not entirely true. This change in the positioning, change in the tagline, change in the homepage messaging not only changes the product or how the product is perceived, but also changes the founder as a person. Their priorities changes, their day-to-day life changes, the problems they have to deal with changes. So overall, I want to say that this change in positioning changes the founder also and their life also. It's not like that only the product is impacted and the customers are impacted. Their life also changes. Just like how when I change the frame through which I see the relationship of my mom and dad, earlier when the frame was different, I used to see only the responsibilities and the work they have to do. But later when the context shifted and I shifted the context, I changed as a person. I started to see them as two individuals who have chosen each other, and I saw them as people who want to spend some time together, maybe in the back of auto or maybe talking about something. So by changing the context, I changed as a person. Similarly, it happens in the founder's life also. Let me give you an example to make you better understand this. So imagine a simple SaaS called as Clipper. Clipper is a tool to record short async videos. Now at first you are the founder and you frame it like a tool for teams to do quick stand-up updates, to give quick stand-up updates inside the company. Now instantly, without even realizing it, you have decided a lot of different things. Like you have decided that you are going to sell it to team leaders, you are going to prioritize like dashboard features, admin features. You compare your product to Loom and Slack. You are in the productivity efficiency niche. Just by deciding and framing your product as a tool to record short stand-up updates, you have put yourself into this category, and now you are in this remote employee tool category. You think about different kind of problems, you deal with different kind of problems. Now let's reframe the product. Now let's make Clipper a personalized video email for sales reps. Now the founder, as a founder, you don't think about stand-ups anymore. You have to think about different things now. Now you have to think about open rates. You have to think about sales persuasion. You have to think about how to get new leads. All the problems and challenges in the life of sales reps become your problems because you want to build your product in such a way that it gives maximum output and it gives maximum result to sales reps. Now the day-to-day life of yours will go into thinking about sales persuasion, open rates, that kind of things you will think about. Now even if you are not realizing this, but your life had got entirely changed. Earlier you were thinking about the productivity and efficiency niche, and you were thinking about admin features, you're thinking about how to communicate better, that kind of problem you are dealing with. And now you are suddenly dealing with problems like open rate, how to get new leads, how to get you are thinking about sales cycle. So all the problems have changed in your life. So this is what I am talking about when I talk about change in context. Not only changes your product and how your product is perceived in the eyes of customers, you change the entire thing. And you as an individual also have to change, because now you have to deal with a different kind of problem. Earlier you had no clue about these kind of problem, that if you framed it like this, you have to deal with sales reps, you have to deal with sales persuasion, you have to think about how to get more leads, that kind of problem you have to deal with. So now you will, suppose you want to explore that sales reps niche, now you will read books about this and you will talk to more sales reps. So your day-to-day life changes entirely as a founder and you become a totally new individual. So this is why you have to choose the positioning very smartly.